Sometimes it doesn't work for my guests. If you move your
Oh,
cursor around the Hangout screen, it's the Google Hangout toolbox on
okay.
the
It's
left
okay. I
side.
won't do it. I don't need it.
All right.
I'll live.
And we are live. That's that easy. So people can start tuning in if they want to.
Yay. If they want to.
If they want to. Like I
That
said,
girl's there.
like, like I said before, before we went live, my goal in these is just to have a good conversation. And if there are viewers who enjoy the show, that's great. That's fantastic. But I'm just going to have a nice talk with you, and that's what I'm looking for.
Sounds great.
And so I'm going to start off by playing my theme song here. I got it queued up. Yeah. Aha.
It's a good
All
theme
right.
song.
Thank you. My friends in the Bitter Dose Combo, a jazz group around DC, they were the ones who recorded that live during one of their shows, and I asked my friend Matt Henry, who's part of the band, if I could use that on YouTube. He said yes, and it's great. I use it all over the place.
Awesome. That's good. That's good. Words. Gruel. It's gruel.
It's gruel. It's definitely gruel. I'm all about the gruel. Thank you for tuning into another PaulCast. This is my probably every couple of weeks live show that I try to do on YouTube. And I am Paul Roth, who's currently living in Washington, D.C. That might be changing this year, but at the moment I'm still in Washington, D.C. And I am joined by my friend. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mary Akemon. I guess I'll say where I live since you said. I live in London, England, but right now I'm in Florida. Enjoying the sunshine, but I'm visiting family, so that's what I'm doing right now.
That is excellent. Why did you go from Florida to London?
I feel like I answer well because everyone's always like, "Oh, why did you choose London?" They always ask me this question, so I have like a script basically now. It's like,
read me your script.
It's cheaper. I always start with it's actually cheaper because I'm in London to get my master's degree in museum studies, and because museum studies requires like a museum. A lot of the courses in the United States are situated in large cities like New York or San Francisco. So I knew that I was going to be paying city prices no matter where I went. And the fact that most of the programs, master's programs in general, are 2 years in the United States, generally 2 years. And then in the UK, they're 1 year. So not only does it cost me less in terms of tuition because I'm not paying for 2 years, plus the tuition is just cheaper in general, I am living in another country. And I figured like if I'm paying less or maybe about equal with exchange rates, might as well go across the sea.
Why not? Yeah, I mean that's a lot
London
of good
has
reasons.
A lot of museums too, so that's a plus.
And I would imagine that some of them, some of them could be like they have to be older than the museums in the United States. Like the UK is older than the United States.
By a lot, kind of.
By a lot.
Only by just like a little, but I mean, no. You mean in terms of like the museums are older than the United States as a country?
Yeah, are there any?
Maybe the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. That's like one, I think it's like touted as like the first ever museum sort of thing, or like it's definitely the first museum in Britain at least. But I think it was started in like 1600 something.
Yeah, that beats us.
Definitely. Since the United States is only like 250 years old or something like that. I'm not sure how old the United States is, but
it's like 1775-ish, I think.
I mean, I know the date. I mean, in years. I can't do math, so don't.
I see. So you know the dates, you don't know the math. That's fine.
I'm a terrible historian.
I don't know. That sounds like it's perfectly right. It sounds like it's a perfect description of historians. They know the dates, but they don't want to do the math. That's fine.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Although recently, not that it's much of a math. Like it's not crunching numbers or doing like geometry or anything, but recently I've been really into economics and just learning about economics. So I am crazy.
Economics are weird because it seems like when I was in high school, I thought economics was going to be like another like really boring math class. There was like a particular type of math and that's it. But that's just accounting. That's just like bookkeeping stuff. Yeah. Economics is about like the history of people and money, and that's
why
complex.
It's like, dude, this is actually a great subject, and I think that's I would say an issue is that economics is seen as like a scary thing, or like a complicated thing. And maybe that's why there aren't more like people who go into economics, or study it at least, because when they're growing up, they're like, oh, I don't want to do something that's like scary or hard to do. Like I don't want to challenge myself in any way. But I mean, in my opinion, I don't think there's enough people who, if not, appreciate economics, they just don't know about it. And that's what leads to the problems of the world.
I mean, at least the problems of various politicians' financial plans. Yeah. At least. We are joined, by the way, in the chats. We have 7 viewers, and we're joined in the chats by at least Dave of NFI, Dave Says Words, who says, we have churches in the UK. We have churches older than your society in the United States.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And we're also joined by Panina, aka Eyes Like a Cat, who says hello, guys.
Hello.
Excellent. I have had a very hectic week at work, and I've not been on YouTube very much this week. I feel bad about it, but that happens occasionally. I've got a lot. I have so many videos. That I have yet to watch. They're all
How
listed.
many people are you subscribed to?
Like 950-ish.
I don't know how many I am. I probably should check that. I have been recently kind of weeding out people in terms of like, you haven't posted a video since 2010. Why am I still subscribed to you? It's like those people you completely forget about because you subscribed to them when you first started watching YouTube, and it's been good, at least in my mind, because I like to clean and like organize things and make sure everything is correct. Right.
For me, it's a matter of not the people who don't post very much. It's about people who post all the time.
Oh,
Especially if it's like a branded channel, it's specifically like a company's videos. If they're posting a couple of times a day, they better be really good, or I'm going to unsubscribe. I just can't handle that kind of
something is wrong with their strategic plan.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best policy to be having. Oh well.
But as long as YouTube doesn't like penalize me for having 950 subscribers, I'm gonna hang on to the ones who haven't posted a video. Like one of my earliest friends was Alex Turlocosaurus, Alex Turlock, and I don't think she's posted a video in a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, that's not bad though. I mean, there are definitely people who go on, they go on breaks.
Yes,
long breaks.
And I do not judge for the hiatuses. I definitely need to take some myself every now and then. Like 1 month a year, I usually take about off.
Oh.
Yeah. We're also joined by Matt Palka. Hi, Matt. Everybody, Palka. We are joined by Taha.
Oh, wow. Wait, you should ask Taha. Did you hear my economics stuff?
Well, he just heard you.
Well, was he here for it?
And in the comments, well, his first statement was, I think the 3 subjects that should be mandatory: politics, philosophy, and economics. So I'm guessing he did. Mary gives a thumbs up while she's eating her Girl Scout cookies, making everybody jealous of the Girl Scout cookies. We're also joined by Aaron, Abraca Awesome. Hey, guys, he says.
Wow.
Okay, so Mary's not interested in Aaron watching us. She's completely disinterested in saying hello to him.
No, I love everyone, all people, especially Aaron.
Aaron's great. Aaron, like, sometimes there are YouTube channels where they do lots of experimental approaches to the artistic aspect of it. They're like with the framework and the presentation and color grading and all that stuff. And it's too much for me. Like, I'm like, calm your shit down. Let me just watch your videos. But Aaron, like, I can't get enough of him. He's so good. He's so good.
Aaron, you should come on the show because have you been on it? No?
He has not been on yet, no.
Because that would be a great person to talk to.
That would be badass. I would be happy to co-host a show with Aaron. That would be awesome.
Make it happen, Aaron. I can't see what you're chatting about or in the chat, but I know what's happening.
There's a 1 minute delay, so after you've said that, there'll be a minute will pass and then he'll respond.
Okay, got it.
Let's see here. Taha says, I heard the last part of the econ chat, lols.
Okay. Good.
Matt says that he is eating an apple cinnamon cupcake right now. So he's not bothered by your Girl Scout cookies.
Okay. This was my birthday was last week. And,
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Just so everyone knows, wish me a happy belated birthday. No, I wanted, because I've been in England and they don't sell Girl Scout cookies in England. That was like the one thing I asked for my birthday. I said, I want Thin Mints. I want Thin Mints there when I get there. And it happened. So apparently they had just stopped selling them too. And my dad had to like bribe someone to get them. I don't know what actually went down, but he got them. 3 boxes.
Whatever is necessary to get the Thin Mints. Dang. Exactly. Are they replacing them with something else?
No, stop. Like the Girl Scout troops are like stopped their selling season. Like,
the season stopped. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
No, I don't think they're never getting rid of Thin Mints.
I would imagine not.
The staple. I feel like there would be outright.
There'd be riots.
Disasters would happen if Girl Scouts stopped selling Thin Mints.
Let's see here. In the chat, Aaron made this emoji, so I'll chat it over to you so you can see. He sent that.
Oh, nice. I don't know what that emoji means, to be honest.
I think it means he's giving a side eye. I don't know.
Have you heard my emoji story?
No, I have not heard your emoji story.
So it's not really a story. It's just I'm saying the word emoji correctly right now, but normally I don't say emoji.
What do you normally say?
I say emoji.
Are you trying to say it in a Japanese accent?
I don't know why I decided to. Honestly, I think because I just would read it in my mind, without saying it. Like especially when they started being used a lot on because I consider what Aaron put in the chat an emoticon.
Sure.
And not like the emojis are like the things that are like on our phones now. And so when they were getting like super popular, I would just read the name in my head and I never heard it pronounced. And so that's just the pronunciation that I've decided on. It's like when you're reading Harry Potter for the first time and you have no idea how anything is pronounced and you pronounce
I swear it should be pronounced Accio. It makes sense as Accio.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember how I pronounced it.
I've heard other people say Accio, and I don't know if they're right.
That's how they say it in the movies, right?
I think they say Accio in the movies.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Because double C is
right.
Yeah. I don't know.
You and I are correct.
Some people just don't know Italian. Some people are just not as smart as us. So
God. Learn your Latin roots, people. Come on.
Yeah.
Aaron says, I would love to be on the show. Excellent. I'm going to set that up at some point.
Yay.
And
Me and my producing powers over here getting things done.
Excellent. Yeah, do it. That's great. Well, I mean, you are one of the people who are behind Community Unite London.
I'm the one person behind. I mean,
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was just you, but I knew that you were definitely one of them.
I guess I sort of have I definitely have a team of people helping me, but I'm the person that has set it up and decided it was happening and decided to do that because of what we do at Playlist.
And at Playlist, was that also your creation or was it Kaylee's creation?
No, it was Kaylee's. So to give everyone who doesn't know me or has never actually heard this story, a couple years ago at Playlist Live Orlando, my friend Kaylee she knew part of the organizers and she got us a panel, a smaller YouTubers panel. And she asked me to be on the panel and I was on it. And it all went well. The next year, they decided to give us a programming room. So they said, hey, that was really successful. We want to be involved with you more. And they gave us a room, and we were given the whole weekend to program whatever we wanted. So that is what became Community Unite. And it's happening again this year. Playlist Live is next month. And we have a bigger room. And Playlist has been awesome in working with us a little bit more this year, like tweeting out the link. And Community Unite is essentially the programming track at Playlist Live that is for smaller creators to find a place to have voice and validation, and also to network and meet people. Because myself and Kaylee find that YouTube related things and smaller YouTubers we have a lot to say, and we aren't given any kind of platform, more than, like, of course, every convention now has a smaller YouTubers panel, but there's so much more that we can do and so much more that we can look into. So we did that, and we're doing that this year at Playlist again. But because I moved to London, I said, you know what, this isn't a very hard thing to do. I have time, and I decided to bring it to London, and it's happening in London, except that it is a one-day convention, with no affiliation to Playlist Live at all. This is separate. Because I'm the one in London, I'm planning most of it, but Kaylee is still involved, and the team at Playlist is still involved, or the team that works with me at Playlist is still involved. But there's also a team of people in London who are helping me. But it is on July 9th at the Greenside Community Center in London. So come hang out. It's free. So
I included a link to it in the description of this live show. So there's a link to the Twitter and a link to the Community Unite overall Facebook page as well.
Awesome. Yay. I'm very excited for it. A couple weeks before I left to come to Florida, I finalized getting the room, getting the community center, and it's just really starting to take shape now. So
that's very, very cool. How does the timing of that relating to, like, all the other YouTube events, both in the United States and in the UK?
SITSI is in August.
Okay.
And VidCon is in end of June, right?
Yeah.
So it's like in July when there's nothing actually happening.
That's perfect.
Which is why I planned it in July. So
very nice. People could go to Playlist Florida right now, then VidCon, then Community Unite London, then SITSI.
Right. Exactly. Although I don't.
All the rich YouTubers can do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't expect anybody to come to Community Unite London who doesn't live in the UK. But if you want to, that's fine. Just.
I mean, some UK YouTubers might be going to Playlist or VidCon, so they'll go there and then they'll come home to the UK.
That's true. That's true.
In the chat, Matt Palka says, "Happy birthday to you." Since today feels like a mega YouTuber's birthday day, because there's yourself, there's Mega Thornberry, and Megan's awesome. Elizabeth, Mika Kitty, iJustine, Elma
today?
Apparently.
Oh, well, my birthday is on the 17th. It was a couple days ago, so it's not today, technically. But that's kind of crazy that many people have their birthday today.
Yeah.
Those are all Pisces. Shout out to the Pisces, you know?
Shout out to the Pisces. I am a Taurus. Mine's going to coming up in almost a month exactly.
Yeah. Is that what's the one after Pisces? Is Taurus after Pisces?
I think there's Pisces, Taurus, and Aries. Is that right? I think.
All I know is that Aquarius comes before, because my mom is an Aquarius.
I see. I am not zodiac savvy.
Hey girl, what's your sign?
I know enough not to use that line. That's what I know. Let's see here. Thank you to Taha for tweeting about this live show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Taha.
Awesome. Yeah, he says he's gonna be wreaking havoc in the chat. You're barely talking.
I expect it. I did my first Periscope.
How was that?
A half a week ago, like a couple days ago, and it was weird. It was hard to do because it's like you're holding your phone and you're trying to see the chat at the same time, but like the words are really small on who's talking, so you can see like what they're chatting about, but you have no idea who it is, and the picture is very small as well. And for some reason my Periscope got like a lot of people, like more than average, I guess. But it was terrifying.
Terrifying. What?
Taha was also in that chat, and he was wrecking havoc there. So I expect the same kind of stuff in this one.
Excellent. In the chats here, he says, "Mate, M."
Yeah, and eight. Yeah,
yes. Mate, I'm just warming up. So we have more to come from Taha in the chats.
Great.
Before the show, you were also telling me that just this week they announced the community creator thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about this, except that it's supposed to be like some sort of forum for content creators to talk to each other. That's actually like a YouTube thing rather than a separate thing. But that's all I know.
I mean, that I didn't have my computer with me when I was looking at it, and so I haven't really gone in depth to see like what kind of topics are. I did notice that they have trending topics basically, and the like most trending topic when I looked was how do I get new subscribers or new viewers. So it's essentially, it seems like it's going to be a place where creators can go and talk about YouTube problems and how to have a conversation and learn new ways to use the platform to grow your base or your creative output. I think they might want it to be like Taha said that he saw it as sort of like a social media situation, or like initially he did. I don't know what his full thoughts on it, but I don't see it being a very community organizing thing. Like it's not going to really help people make friends or like find like-minded people. It might for a very small percentage of people who use the site a lot and regularly, and then they start recognizing other people. But for the vast majority of users, it's not going to be that. So I'm wondering if YouTube wanted it to be a space for like social networking, or if they wanted it to be more of just like a help forum. And those are my critiques on it, is that if they in fact do want it to be a social networking place, I don't think it's going to be very successful. But if that wasn't the intent, then it'll probably do what it's meant to do, as in it'll just give a place for creators to find answers to their YouTube problems.
I mean, I've been on YouTube only for just under 3 years, and in this time I've seen lots of iterations of things like creator workshops, creator lessons, creator playbook, creator, all sorts of things to help people learn about how to do the creation aspect of YouTube using YouTube's resources. It's something that they keep on pushing, and it seems like they haven't gotten the type of buy-in from the YouTube content creators that they want yet. So maybe this is another variation on that. Certainly,
I agree at 100% that I think it's just another way for them to try to I don't know. You said it correctly.
Well, but if that is the purpose of that, then YouTube has to have this mindset. I say YouTube like it's an individual, but the company has to have this.
That's how I talk about it as well. Don't worry.
Okay, good. So they have to have this idea that that there is a best practices way of making YouTube videos, and like the rebellious creative individual in me immediately says, no, there is no best practices way to do YouTube. We should be individuals and do it all like however differently we want to do it. And yet I know that I only have 2,000 subscribers, and there are people who have 100, 1,000 times that. Perhaps they did do it the best practices way, and that's something that people want to get to.
Or perhaps not.
Perhaps not. I don't know. In the chat.
Yeah.
I was going to say that in the chat, Matt Palka says maybe it's like a YouTube creator lounge, like the creator lounge that we had at VidCon last year, but online.
That's a good way to think about it, I think.
And Taha says, before he goes off to finish his homework, he says, I was doing some research, and they've outsourced it to a third-party company to run it. So I really don't think YouTube care about it at all.
Interesting. Good to know.
You
This is
know,
why I keep Taha around.
one of the reasons why, even though I don't like know Taha very well, I don't think we're like close friends or anything yet, but one of the reasons why I've liked him from my first awareness of him is that he and I both seem to have this attitude of YouTube doesn't care at all about small YouTubers. They're out to screw us and just like feed the big YouTubers to make money. We both seem to have the same mindset. So
Well,
yeah.
I think with I love how like this chat has turned into like, let's talk about Taha because he's the best thing that happened to anybody. No, I think with Taha is just that he wants to know as much information about things before making decisions, and that I don't think he thinks that 100% about YouTube. I mean, I would agree that I think about that, that we agree on that. But I'm not sure.
He just wants more transparency.
Yeah, I think, yeah, definitely. But yeah, when I saw that this creator community was announced, I automatically was like, this is just another way for them to say they're doing their part to like include content creators who aren't like their mega stars. And it's just like a roundabout way of like hushing us up for a while, you know? It's like take away all the things that are good, like video responses, and do some like video responses.
And activities. Activities is gone.
I never used activities, to be honest. I don't have much commentary on that. But yeah, they take away things that people actually really like and are useful in creating community and sharing and learning together. And then they come out with stuff like this that we'll see what happens with it. I mean, obviously, it's only been like around or announced for a couple days. I know it's been in beta for about 2 months because I talked to someone who was on the beta testing for it. But we'll see. I
haven't investigated it at all, so I have I am not in a place where I can make a judgment on this. I'm ready.
I just like snap judgments. That's just me.
I'm ready to give me like 2 seconds inside community creators, and I will come to Twitter and I will judge the hell out of it. But I want to at least look at it first.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait a while till more people start talking about it to actually speak on Twitter about it, because I have such a large platform of people who look to me for all of their YouTube advice. So
I mean, you got me at least. I always tend to look at you and find out what your opinion about YouTube things are.
Thank you. It comes with the territory of being around for too long.
In the chat, Taha said that he thinks that the community creator forum is a response to hashtag make YouTube great again.
Oh, right. Because is that? That's just a joke. Don't forget you, Taha.
That should have been a thing. I would have joined in on that one.
I mean, yeah, I would as well. We should make it a thing. Taha, that's you. That's your job.
Yeah, you stir that up and we'll join in. It's very similar to the YouTube Honesty Hour thing, but with a slightly more sarcastic bent to it.
Mm-hmm. That's our kind of tone.
It really is.
A slightly more sarcastic bit. Put it on my tombstone.
Mary Akemon, slightly more sarcastic. Matt Palka says video responses were so good. I know that I can see the value in them, but I was getting into YouTube vlogging as those were being phased out, so I didn't really get the benefit of it.
I see. Yeah, actually, to be honest, I never used it that often, and it's kind of funny. After they took them away, I made more video responses, like video response to blah 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 sort of thing, where you actually can't post it anymore. But yeah, I made way more after they took them away. So that's how it always happens, of course. But
of course, in the chat, we are also joined by This Is Ewan, who says the creator community is more of a help center for creators to help other creators. So it's like a mutual help center rather than a community building center.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because it's very much like Apple support forums. That's what it seems like. It's like, oh, I have this problem. let me chat about it and see if someone can have an answer for me.
I mean, that's from as a service provider, like the company that I work for in my day job, we do customer service on top of other things. And so as a service provider, I can see that that's valuable because that basically means you don't hassle us anymore when the customers are helping each other out. That's great for the service provider. For the customer, it's not always great because you can be led down wrong paths or given bad answers or given no answers. So that's an interesting take if that is what it is. Panina, Eyes Like a Cat says, even the video editor does that. Like the big YouTubers have good software, and this is their way of half-assedly saying, anyone can make videos, just use our online video editor thing.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that there was one?
No, I didn't know that they had better software than us. I'm kind of mad now. Is this real? I'm gonna find this out later. Thank you, Eyes Like a Cat. You got me, girl. You watching my back.
There are these things called Final Cut Pro and Premiere Pro.
I know about those. I thought what she meant was that the in-house software, like the in-platform software, is better.
Let's get clarification. Is that what you meant, Panina? Let us know. This is Ewan said that they talked about it at a YouTube event I went to in Edinburgh. Okay. Oh, Taha says that the hashtag really was a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed that.
Me too. I usually don't chime in on the YouTube honesty hours either. I'll put I'll make one tweet maybe, but mostly I just watch because I want to see what other people are feeling. What makes other people passionate about it.
It's getting a bit repetitive, so it's like, what can we say that's new?
True.
And it is always interesting to see what people who have larger audiences say, because my computer's telling me I have an update. 1 second.
Don't update your computer during the live show.
No. Because sometimes I can't think of an example, but sometimes just like, oh, do you really feel that way? Or is that, oh, that's such a hard situation for you to be in? Like you either take it like, is that like a truthful, is that honest? Is this a real honest thing? Or is it like, oh, you're just complaining about something that like you check your privilege sort of thing? Like check your privilege before you start complaining about YouTube.
Well, that's one of the things I actually want to watch for when those hashtags go around. I watch for who's joining in, oblivious to the fact that they're actually more of a part of the problem than they are asking for a solution that's generally helpful. I've seen some YouTubers, some big YouTubers who I do not subscribe to, and I generally don't talk about, join in on things like YouTube Honesty Hour, and they'll share things that they feel are important and need to be said, and I just read them, and I'm like, yeah, this only applies because you have 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had 1 million subscribers, I'd be able to identify.
Is relatable.
Now, on the other hand, when they talk about things like having their privacy invaded and having their humanity ignored and becoming objectified, that I'm fine with. That is legitimately concerning.
Right.
But it's just stuff like, oh, it would be easier for me if blah, 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 because I have so much popularity. That's a shame. I'm so sad for you. Let's see if we can make that stop.
Yeah. Any response in the chat about
software? Well, we got Taha saying, watch grade A under A's videos. He went through and explained all the problems with YouTube and got his entire fan base of about 1 million subscribers to tweet the CEO of YouTube. And now that CEO is working with grade A under A and a few other creators to make YouTube great again, because he spammed the CEO with hashtag make YouTube great again.
How did I miss this? When was this?
I have no idea. I missed it too.
Oh my God, it must have been one I was doing like an essay or something.
I was probably at work.
I mean, there's a lot of time. I mean, I'm on Twitter a lot, so I don't often miss things because I have a sad life.
Hey, I am on Twitter all the time as well. It is the thing that gets me through some of my hardest work days, honestly.
Oh, that's nice.
Panina responded to say, no, she means that the YouTube editor sucks compared to people who aren't big YouTubers, and so they might not have the money to spend on Final Cut and Adobe things.
Okay, yeah, okay, got it. That's why I was like, what? Because I was confused. Thank you for the clarification on all fronts.
Taha says that the hashtag blow up was about 3 weeks ago.
Okay, I don't know where it was, so.
I don't know either. Beginning of March.
I mean, we don't have to talk about just YouTube because
we don't have to talk about just Taha. We don't have to do that.
I can talk. I just talk about YouTube all of the time. So there's a lot of subjects that I can talk about. But we can move on to another subject if anybody watching wants to.
I mean, I myself am curious about if you're going to keep on going with your Bollywood series.
Oh. Taha, chime in on this one. No.
I mean, I like the fact that in your first like official video of the series, you're talking about how you want to be careful not to like speak out like a white person speaking out of turn, talking about this Bollywood stuff.
And that's been the issue since pretty much day one, and why it's never really materialized. I did kind of have to reevaluate the reasons why I wanted to make it. Was it because I honestly want to talk about it and to share how awesome I think the whole industry is and the societal things involved and all of that? Or is it because am I doing it because I have a large Indian audience and I want to cater to them? And I was like, I had to like stop and kind of think about like why I was doing it, because it was a problem that I was thinking about it and like, oh, I want to do this so I can get more views, you know? That's where the problem is. And I had to be like, okay, this isn't. And that's why I like thought about doing it in, I don't know, November or October. And I like had an announcement video about it, and then nothing was made because I was just like, I can't do this. But I had a couple scripts written that had been checked, and I talked about it with friends. And I decided just to go ahead and do the videos that were written, but I'm not doing any more than those. So I have 2 now left to do on a movie, Lagan, which is like a mid-2000s movie. And I can't remember what the last one was, but then another one. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna wash my hands of it and say like I really enjoy listening to South Asian music and I really like watching the movies, but I don't think I should be making these videos. And it's like I enjoy talking about them in like everyday life, and the people who watch those videos, they're always like, oh my God, I love that you're talking about this. Like, oh my God, you should watch this movie. You should watch this movie. Like I have such good responses from videos where I talk about South Asian culture, but it's coming all from South Asian people. So even if the intent is to like teach people who don't know about it, those people aren't watching the videos. So it's like, why? I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of what happened there.
I like hearing about your thought process, how you went through thinking about the construction of the series, what made you hesitate, why you're trying to proceed a little bit forward, but you're gonna stop. I mean,
well, I can tell you why I even have a large Indian audience.
Yes. How did you trick them all, Mary, into watching you?
It's because of my beautiful face. No. So I did a channel swap with a Indian YouTuber called That Indian Girl, and she posted a video on my channel and I posted a video on her channel. My video was called What Americans Think of Bollywood, and it was sort of uncovering the fact that Americans don't know anything about Bollywood at all, and that there's lots of misconceptions about it, and they just don't understand things like thinking that movies like Bride and Prejudice or Slumdog Millionaire, thinking that those movies are Bollywood movies. They're 100%
Oh no.
not. But the average American would call Slumdog Millionaire a Bollywood movie.
Oh, all right.
I believe that just because they think, oh, there's one musical number at the very end. It's all Asian or all South Asian Indian cast. Those are the only two things they need. And they're like, Bollywood.
Yeah,
Bollywood
I believe
is
you.
a whole genre, and it's there's genres within like the Bombay film industry, and that's just one film industry in all of India. Like that's not Indian cinema. It's one section of it, and people think of it one as like the Indian cinema. That's the only movies that are made in India. Not true at all. Some of the best movies out of India are coming from the independent and the South Asian or the South Indian sector of the industry. And it's just wildly they just don't understand. So I made this video on her channel. At this point, it has, I think, over 100,000 views.
Holy!
It's my most viewed video, and it's not even on my channel.
Wow.
And so, I mean, I guess the good thing is that there are people who are watching it and are coming to my channel and subscribing. But yeah, that's why they're, and it's not my largest demographic. I think it's like third. But it's still there, and people are still like, why don't you make more stuff about Bollywood? And I'm like, well, because that's not my channel. Like, this isn't a Bollywood talking about Bollywood or talking about like South Asian, Indian, Pakistani culture. Like, that's not. So yeah, that's why.
That's interesting. By the way, Taha in the chat says that he laughed a lot, and then he said that he actually loves it, Mary.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me his reactions to it when he first watched it. Mostly it was making fun of how the way I said the Hindi words. So.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, the closest analogous experience that I would have is, I always try to step lightly when I'm talking about racist issues that affect Black people, about sexist issues that affect women, about trans issues. I always try to say, like, I'm just saying this because I have a platform and I want people to know about it. But then here are other voices that you should pay attention to instead of me, because they're actually experiencing that. So like, I always try to make sure that I'm doing the combination, not just listen to me, listen to all my wonderful thoughts about these ideas. It's a little bit of my bringing attention to something people might not otherwise have thought about, and then giving you another direction to go in to actually listen to the voices that need to be heard.
Cool. That's a good idea. I think I might do that. I'll for the next two, I will find a couple of good South Asian YouTubers who speak about Bollywood and link them at the end.
I think that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm always looking to increase my spread of my subscription. As if 950 subscriptions isn't enough. I want to like diversify further.
I actually did. I got sent this amazing video. It was so funny. It's a little bit nuanced in that if you don't know a lot about Indian culture, and like, you might not get a lot of the jokes, but there are two. I'm not sure. I think they're either Indian or Pakistani. I'm not really sure where they're from, but talking about the movie that I talked about in my first video, and it is so funny. So I think I'll definitely link them, because I was laughing. It was like 3 a.m. and I was like cackling in my room. Like, this is so great. But it came with having watched the movie several times as well, because they basically do a review of the movie. But yeah, I'll link
awesome.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. You should. And then also Taha says, if I mention Bollywood, would you shout me out, Mary?
What? What does that even? Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely. If you do the same, Mr. Gross subscribers all the time, every day, a lot. No, I'm kidding. Sure, I'll do that. You don't even have to mention Bollywood, and I'll shout you out.
I like that. You know, I've a few friends in the DC area, DC, Baltimore, Annapolis area who do YouTube stuff, and one of them is Magic Cat Jenny Sargent,
Yes.
and Holmquist. I'm sorry, and I hung out with her not too long ago, and we talked about how it feels like even with the small YouTubers in the UK, it feels like they all know each other and hang out and have fun together, and we're jealous of that, frankly.
It's a true thing. I mean, it just comes with this how small the country is. Like, you get to know people pretty well, because everyone knows everyone, because it's not hard to like meet up in person. In terms of, I don't even know, like some of the people that definitely the people in London, I knew one person, and then all of a sudden I knew like all of these people. Like all it does is take one person and you meet like the entirety of the London YouTube community. But it's yeah, it can't be compared to anything else. That's why like I could never do Community Unite without Playlist Live in the States, because they are our backing. Like they essentially fund us. And people in it, and Community Unite would never grow enough to be standalone, just because like money and stuff. But like people, you can't get people to come into Florida or anywhere to be. Like the only place it might work is in LA, because there's people there who are YouTubers. But in London, why it could be a standalone thing is because there's so many people, like YouTube people who live either in London or around London, or it's not hard to get from like Manchester or Birmingham or like Brighton into London. It's not. So that's why it works. But the community there is very tight knit and fun, and I'm glad I'm there. So
That's so nice. Is there any sort of like clicking between like the genre of YouTube creators?
I mean, I think the beauty community is very within their own circle.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the people I know are either filmmakers, like that's how they brand themselves, or vloggers. So that might be a clickiness, or that might just be because most people are like general term vloggers. But I've met people of all subscriber ranges, and I'm friends with people of all subscriber language or ranges, and it doesn't seem to be such. It doesn't. I feel like people think about that, and it matters more in America, or at least the American community. Like people just don't really care that much about like while they're making friends, like they don't like think like, oh, I'm not going to be friends with this person because they only have like 2 subscribers, or oh, I'm never going to be friends with this person because they have 2 million subscribers. Like it's not as big of a deal. It's still an issue, because of, you know, what's your motivation in friendships and all of that. But it seems to be a lot more gelled, and it's good, I guess. I don't know. Maybe people have other opinions on it, but
I have noticed that, and maybe it's just because of the type of YouTubers I follow, but I have noticed that it is far more likely that a UK YouTuber would be a part of the filmmakers YouTuber genre. I don't know very many self-labeled filmmakers YouTubers in the United States. Certainly not small YouTubers. A couple, not very many.
Do you have ideas why you think that is?
I feel like it's because we've got the commercial filmmaking industry as such a big part of our entertainment industry and culture here in the United States. Like if you want to go to New York and be in entertainment, you go to New York and you be in entertainment, and YouTube is a part of it or not. You can decide on your own. If you want to go to LA and be a part of entertainment, you can do that, and you can do that with or without YouTube. But I don't know if there is like a big filmmaking like mainstream industry in London, in the UK. So if you want to do it, you can do it on YouTube, and that's a great platform for you to make your films. I don't know if that's true. I'm not.
I
I'm not
don't.
UK.
I would have had the same perception before coming to London.
Okay.
There's definitely a, I don't want to say booming because it's not booming, but there's definitely a film industry and it's good. I think that in Hollywood it is very it's very blockbusters, like what are the people gonna want to watch, and it's less intellectual. I don't want to less words. It's a lot more commercial. It's for
It's
like
definitely very commercial.
the common man. But I feel like the British film industry is a little bit more independent and less blockbustery, and they make really good films, and people love films here. Or here in London. I'm not in London anymore. But they appreciate good films. And I think that might be the difference there.
So there's no like Paul Blart Mall Cop in the UK.
I mean, there probably is, but it's not as like highly marketed and like in your face. Then again, I am not very tuned into advertising beyond like street advertising because I don't listen to the radio or watch TV. So I'm not sure. But my roommate is a film student, or she's a film studies student. And so, and I've learned a little bit about the British film BFI, British film industry, just by meeting all these YouTubers and like living with her and stuff. And it's cool. I think with YouTube, it's a bit maybe that's how it came about, like why there seems to be so many more film people, or like I want to be a filmmaker YouTubers in the UK. But I think at this point a lot of people are deciding to do that because all of the British YouTubers are film people. It might not be because that's generally the genre that they're best at or what have you, but it's because the biggest YouTubers in the UK brand themselves as filmmakers, and so
it's a
that's
cycle.
what they go towards. Yeah, right.
Gotcha. In the chat, which I'm not forgetting about, in the chat, Taha says basically there is no really major city like London. This is Ewan says, unless you're from Scotland, where I only found out how big it actually was, I think the YouTube community there, last month. Other than that, YouTube is not that big up here, which is a shame. And then also went on to say, the UK has a huge film industry. Scotland has one as well that's starting to grow. But the issue we have is not having a studio. But as a whole, UK independent filmmaking is growing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Taha says, the UK film industry let bad films die. Good. They should die.
Much like their car industry.
And then Taha also says, also, the BFI is government funded, so those films are always vetted before they are funded. Now that's, obviously there's nobody going to Hollywood and saying, are these films quality enough to be made before they're made? Nobody's doing that in the United States.
No. Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Anybody else? Any other comments?
Those are the big ones.
Cool. Only the ones that matter.
Just Taha.
Just Taha. I feel like Taha should change his name to just Taha. No more can't stop me. Just Taha.
Can't Stop Me is really good, though. I mean, I love the pun. It's so good. It also means he can just keep on going for as long as he wants about whatever. And he's got the reasoning right in his name.
Well, that's true.
What events are you going to besides your own Community Unite?
I'll be at Playlist Live Orlando.
That's coming right up.
Yep. April 22nd or something like that. So I'll be at Sitsi.
Oh, great.
I will not be at VidCon, unfortunately.
Ooh.
Yeah. I went to VidCon 3 years in a row. Last year was my first year not going, right? Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. And it was heartbreaking, but I've kind of decided I need to, at this point, move on with my life. In that most of my really original, really good friends from YouTube are no longer going to VidCon. Beyond like Kelly. I mean, I'm making tons of new friends who are going, but like my original group that I spent 3 years at VidCon with, they no longer attend. And I just can't afford it anymore. My parents were paying for me to go before, and now it's all me, baby.
Yeah. I find it a weird phenomenon. I think this happens a lot, from what I can tell, is that people are gain some stature in YouTube, and when they've gained some stature, they're invited to be on a panel, and great, they go, and so they experience VidCon, and then they've been on the panel, so so VidCon doesn't generally repeat a lot of panelists unless they're like in the top whatever percentage. So if you've been on the panel once, you're probably not going to go back to get invited back by VidCon to be on the same panel again, which means then the next time you want to go to VidCon, you have to fund it all yourself, and then you can't.
Right.
Like young tubers, that's happened to young tubers a lot. Less than famous panelists, that happened to some of them.
But I mean, YouTube wasn't funding them in this, or YouTube, VidCon wasn't funding them beyond like tickets, though.
Yeah,
right?
just ticket. I don't know if hotel was provided, but definitely they were. It got them into VidCon.
I don't think it. I mean, it wasn't the first year for less than famous.
Okay.
I don't know about the previous 2 years. Has it been 2 years?
Yeah. So at the very least, it covers the VidCon ticket coverage price.
Yeah, it's true. Which is actually the cheapest of all of the expensive, but of course.
So then the people who are not in California have to figure out their own transportation costs, and it's probably easier to justify that if you're going to be on a panel. Likewise, housing, and then a lot of people are in the same boat that you are in, which is they went to VidCon when their parents could help them get there, and then when their parents aren't going to be helping them with money anymore, buy VidCon.
Yeah, I mean, I could technically afford to go, but I'm being responsible and saying like you should probably keep that roughly $1,500 and maybe invest it or something instead. Which it's tragic, but I have flirted with the idea of moving to Los Angeles after I graduate. So I may one day go back to VidCon. But this year is not that year, so.
I mean, that's definitely one of the factors in my wanting to move to the LA area, is that that would mean that in the future I could just drive to VidCon.
Yep.
Not so bad.
No.
In the chat, apparently Taha knows about some of this stuff. First of all, he chimed in with, "Yeah, you can't stop me," and then said that hotel is provided this year for, I guess, VidCon panelists.
All?
I don't know about all. We are joined in by the chats by, oh my goodness, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Shagik? Shagik? Who says SHAGHIK.
Oh.
How much does it cost to go to VidCon? If you go on the community pass, I want to say it's like around $100. The creator pass is like around $200, and the industry pass is around $500, I think. Those are approximate prices.
Yeah. And then you add roughly, depends on how long you stay, what hotel you stay in, but you're going to end up paying between $150 and $200 for hotel. And that's splitting a room.
Yeah. Yeah,
By the way, that's splitting a room with like 5 people. And then depending on where you're from, airfare. So when I would fly out to VidCon, it was between $400 and $500. And that's buying tickets in advance. Like that's not the week before, but that's just like cross-continental American flights. And out of like smaller airports, not like huge international airports. So
yeah, from the Washington D.C. Baltimore area, there are a lot of hub airlines and hub airports. So it's not too expensive flight wise, but it's still a few $100.
yeah.
And you know, Mary's right on about the hotel costs. I hate sharing my living space. Hate it. So I'm doling out a significant amount of money to have a room by myself this year. But I don't know if I change jobs and I have to worry about my paycheck, then all of a sudden I might not be able to do that ever again in the future. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just drive back and forth from wherever I live every day.
I think the first year I stayed in a room with 7 people. Yeah.
Dang.
So we actually got, the last year that I went, we actually got very lucky because we got upgraded. So we went from a regular like 2 queen bed hotel room to a hotel room with 3 beds, 3 queen beds, and 2 bathrooms, like 2 separate bathrooms, and like it was pretty awesome because we were staying with 6 or 7 people as well that last year. And so I get this text from Marina, and she's like, "We got upgraded." It's like, yes, thank you. This is so good. And I only had to share a bed with 1 other person instead of like 3 other people. But yeah.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference.
No, I mean, I'm a baby, and I like will be the one to be like, I'm not sleeping on the floor. Because I'm not sleeping on the floor, so that's why.
I don't think that's a baby position. I think that's a very strong adult woman position.
Right. Amongst other strong adult women.
Exactly. So let me think here. Now, do I remember correctly that like your crew of friends at VidCon were Marina of Marina Shut Up, Kelly Kitagawa of Kelzel, and
Liverpool Lights,
Kaylee MB. Yeah, I remember.
Well, that's my core group of girl power friends. We have a group chat. I forget I think it's named White Boys.
That's excellent.
But I miss them. I haven't seen them in so long.
Make them all go over to London and visit you.
I know. I should. I almost saw Kelly this summer, and I feel so bad about it still. So I was flying to London for a wedding, and I was coming back, and I figured out that in the Toronto airport, they like spit you back out into the country. So you get your I had never flown internationally before, so it was like I didn't know how it all worked. And so I realized that like when you go through customs, like they stamp you into the country. So you are allowed to leave the airport even if you have a connecting flight.
Huh.
So I had like a 4-hour layover, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in Toronto. Like, Kelly, come hang out with me. But I realized that like way too late. And I said, okay, on my way back from London or from the UK, we can hang out. But my connection was shorter. Aww. And so I get through, and the way back is different than because you're going into the United States, and the United States is a lot more strict on like how they admit people in via customs at like ports. So instead of spitting you back out into the country, they like automatically put you into line to get like stamped into like get all the like US clearance done. And the lady, I was like planning to like get it all done and then like, or no, I was planning to just like leave instead and not go through the clearance until like right before the flight left, like a couple hours before. But the lady was like, no, I really don't think you should do that. Like the lines are really long. You don't want to get stuck and miss your plane. But like, cause I like asked one of the airport people if that was like a good idea. And Kelly was already on her way to the airport.
Oh.
And I like made a snap decision. I was like, I don't think it's good. I don't think I should like leave. And she was like there. And it's like the Toronto airport is not very close to the city, like most airports around the city. But she had like traveled for like 45 minutes just for like her to basically be there and me go like, I can't go anymore. I felt so bad. She was like, I've been on this bus. I was like, I'm sorry. So I almost saw her and then I was just a fraidy cat and
I mean,
decided.
blame U.S. Customs for that. It's all U.S. Customs' fault.
It is. It's always thanks, Obama.
That's not Obama's fault. That's the TSA. That's like all the fear mongers.
Well, according to my father, everything is Obama's fault, which I shouldn't speak too loud because he's like in that room.
Oh yes, that's right. So like I remember I just saw your video about the Republican confessions and how your family is very much that way.
Yeah, I basically was like it was 3 a.m. and I was being chastised like pretty much all the way home from the airport by my father about my political standings.
Oh jeez.
And I was like, why is this happening? It is 7 a.m. in London. I haven't slept. It's my birthday. Why?
Oh, what a horrible combination.
I know.
Come on, Dad.
I know, but that's just him. That's just him. So, but you know how family is, right? All you all out there, all you viewers, you know.
All the viewers know how family is. I don't really have much family to speak of, so I don't have that conflict. But I certainly have some friends who are conservative, and it ends up being one of those things where, look, our friendship is gonna be killed if we talk about this. So let's not.
Yep.
This is not.
Some of my closest friends growing up and people. Actually, I've been in 2 weddings my entire life, and both of the weddings that I've been in are very close friends from very specific periods of my life. Both of them are very conservative. and it's hard because I love talking about politics. That is like one of my number one things that I like to do. And I can't talk about that with them. And it's heartbreaking because it'll just end up in a fight because I am not very gracious. And it's something and it's something I'm working on, but I stick to my guns and I will fight people about things. So
you had a video about this too, right?
Yeah,
like some like be more compassionate or something like that?
It's called Compassion in Politics.
Yes, that's right. Well, I'm glad that you recognize that is something that you need to work on.
I mean, yeah.
It's something that honestly, I think it's something that it's weird. I could swear that when I was in high school and even in college, people could be polar opposites politically and still just have like civil discussions. And then somewhere in the decade since I left college, that all just went to hell. It's like you can't be on polar opposites of the liberal to conservative spectrum anymore without just hating each other now. Yeah. It's so weird that that's the case.
Well, I think the parties have shifted tremendously as well. And that might be it, is that they've seemed to be going in opposite directions.
Farther apart?
Yeah, farther apart. Rather than being more moderate, on moderate grounds. And who knows why that is. I blame the internet. I love the internet, but I think a lot of the problems that we're having with the current election is spawned by the internet. And it's just it's just what happens when you have a lot of information that's either wrong or right available to pretty much most of the population of the United States.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time period where the internet was rising, but not everybody had a home computer yet, so it wasn't that big of an issue anymore. But then smartphones came along, and even people who have like no other significant technology has a smartphone now.
Right.
So now it's literally at your fingertips.
Yeah, one of the things that I've thought about with the whole Trump situation is that in another election year, 20 years ago, even more than 20 years ago, let's say 30 years ago, someone who acted and said the things that Trump says would have never been allowed by like normal television media or by the American people in terms of how they viewed the position of the president of the United States. It's supposed to be and should be, because it is a political position and a position where you're meeting political and important figures from all around the world. It should be a dignified, well-spoken person, because that's what you need to be in order to do the job efficiently. But because of the internet and the repetition of the way Trump acts, it's become normalized, and it's no longer a people don't see it as an issue, because it's like it's not an outlier anymore. It's something that they've gotten over and over and over and over again, and so it no longer triggers them as this isn't right. This isn't quite right. You know. I mean,
now,
that's what I've thought about it.
I wonder if that is because of the internet or because of the news cycle as a form of money-making entertainment that has
I think
really
it's a combination of both, probably.
Yeah. By the way, we are joined in the chat by Scozio and Ant Lightfoot.
Oh,
hello
God.
to both of you.
The same reaction. Oh God, Aaron. Oh God, Ant. It's those A's.
Ant starts off by saying, "Hello, mate."
Mm. This time it isn't a M8, is it?
It is.
It is. Oh God, these people.
These people on the internet who live there.
They don't exist in real life. No.
Earlier, Matt Palka said if you volunteer at VidCon, you get your entire pass paid for, but you have to work a minimum of 12 hours, and he's going to be doing that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that at least they're giving. I don't think they used to give passes for volunteer, or did they?
Well, I think you have to buy your pass first, and then you get compensated at the end.
But so now the volunteer process is like crazy. When it used to be just like, oh, I want to volunteer, and they're like, okay. Now it's you have to be like experienced.
I think there's some training involved. They have to like vet you. They probably like do a background interview on you now. I mean, you're dealing with 20,000 attendees, so yeah.
Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And what else did I do? Scozio said that he missed the first hour, but he's here now. Hooray. Panina said, wasn't there that racist guy from Texas who ran for president and was essentially Trump 30 years ago? But I'm blanking on the name.
Oh. Yeah, I actually haven't. I know who is being referenced. I don't know who they are, though. Like, I've heard about this situation, but because there's a video being passed around with like the chairman of the Republican Party talking about like basically the issue of voting for someone who's crazy. And like I think it's an ad by a Republican for the Democratic candidate, because they're like, we're not voting for this crazy person because that person got the nomination.
Wow.
And so it's an ad saying like, you may be Republican, but for this election, you need to vote Democrat because we cannot vote this person in.
Wow.
It's on my Facebook. So if anyone out there is friends with me and wants to watch it, I did a really good job explaining it. So you probably don't need to like watch it now. But
Ant said, I just joined and heard because of the internet, so I assume we're quoting Gambino lyrics.
No.
I mean, if you live here long enough. Let's see. And then he said, you're damn right it's an M8.
Okay.
But this is good. He also said, Mary, please tell all of us
Oh, no.
how you grinded on elderly men at a museum.
This is a straight up lie. Never happened. Okay, but like it's not even like a good story. I don't know why he's asking me to say it. So Aunt and I went to an art, or not art, but like a religious history object museum exhibition that, you know, what I'm studying and I'm explaining really well.
I can see those museum studies jargon kicking in.
And there was lots of people there. It was just kind of crowded. And I kept bumping into these men, these older men. And Aunt, being the like dirty-minded person that he is, this is a true fact, all you out there who don't know it, but it's true. It's a thing.
Aunt is dirty-minded? I am scandalized.
Anyway, he immediately was like, you need to stop grinding on these old men. And so now it's like a joke, I guess. It's like an inside joke where I'm just I just like the old men and I grind up on it. So that's the story, people. Maybe I'm telling it incorrectly. He can fill you in all the other details that I left out in the chat. Tune in there.
I hope someone just like gifts that part where you confess to grinding up on old men in museum.
Yeah. I was like really clumsy that day. There was like a point where.
Sure, Mary. Sure.
Yeah, sure. That's what they all say. No, I mean, I was bumping into all those people in that exhibition. Then we went to the British Museum, and there was this point where I like tripped, did like a twirl. My backpack was like hitting 4 people, and then I like went forward. I didn't fall or anything, but it was like I felt like I saw my life flash before my eyes. Because I was like, I cannot believe that just happened. And it was like, that was like the epitome of the pixie dream girl, like, motif where she's just like silly and trips and in the museum. It's like, no, that is not who I am. This was just a special moment in my life that it just happens every once in a while.
It was your Zooey Deschanel moment.
Yeah. I used to have Zooey Deschanel bangs.
Did you?
It was a good time, yeah. Except I have like a shit ton of hair and it doesn't do what it's supposed to anytime. And like the way Zoe's hair is cut, it's like starts here, like in the middle of her head. That's where her bangs start. Like you expect bangs to start like right here. No, they like start back here. And so I got them cut. Like you basically pull all this hair forward and you cut them like right here. So it's very long bang. But my hair does not lie normally on like a good day. So it was always just like parting in the middle, very awkwardly. Like alfalfa.
Like alfalfa from the Little Rascals.
Or it was like one hair was just like, it like won't stay down, even if I like try to use like heat products or anything. So I grew them out and I said never again, at least for a while. They were cute though.
Oh my God. I want to see pictures. Matt Pelka says, oh, geez, you don't have to be highly experienced to volunteer at VidCon. They have simpler jobs too, but it's actually 30,000 attendees now.
Oh,
Son
wow.
of a, are you kidding me? God damn it. I thought they were capping at 20 and just going to keep it there. Oh, well.
Hey, I mean, nothing against Hank Green, but Hank Green likes that money, so you got to do what you got to do. No shade against Hank Green, except here's a very long sentence full of shade.
I mean, you said the words that I was going to say to call you out, so well done. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ant says that he's exposed and giggling to himself so much now that everybody knows how dirty-minded he is. You've exposed him as a dirty-minded person.
Yeah, that's what I like to do with all my friends.
Expose
their hidden their bad traits to the world. That's just, just friend things.
I mean, if it's in public like this, is it still gossip? It's like reporting the news practically.
It's true. It's true. I did listen to a podcast. I think it was just like a Stuff You Should Know podcast or episode, and they were talking about how gossip works. And it was an interesting episode because it talked about what situation is it gossip? Is it gossip when a person is it gossip if it's public? Is it gossip if it's private? It was really just interesting to think about gossip in different ways because I am a self-proclaimed gossip, so and I don't pretend like I'm not because it's one of my bad traits. But I also am fueled by it.
Wow, we are finding out about lots of your bad traits.
I'm kidding. I'm not really a gossip. I just like drama.
Now you're in denial about it.
So what is true? What is real? Who's the real Mary? We'll never know.
That's what happens on YouTube. You don't know what's real about people.
I know. I like to pretend I'm the same person, but who knows? What?
I was listening to find out.
Oh, well, I know. I like to pretend or think that I am almost the same person in my real life as I present on YouTube. To an extent, like if I have a scripted video that is clearly not 100% myself because it's been very, edited and already, even before editing begins, it's been edited. But like when most of my videos are filmed free form, like I don't script most of my videos. So I like to think that it's as if I was sitting down and talking with a friend. But I guess I won't really ever know because I can't look at myself like that. I'll never be able to see myself clear enough without bias to know whether or not that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think to answer that kind of question, you have to have like a legit close friend who's aware of you both offline and online, and they can assess you.
Right. And for them to be honest.
And for them to be honest.
Because don't be afraid to hurt my feelings, close friend, and be like, you're actually a completely different person in real life or whatever, but
is that a thing that would hurt someone's feelings to find out?
If someone really believed that they were the same, it might not hurt their feelings, but disappoint them maybe.
Sure. I would be fascinated to find out that I am somehow different online. I don't think that I am because I approach my YouTube videos in a very similar way to you. I do script some of them, but most of them are just my thoughts on topics off the top of my head, and I just kind of edit out all the stumbling that I do. But otherwise, it's just me having a conversation with the camera. But if I am different online, that'd be interesting. I think I would learn something about myself if I find that out.
Yeah. Who knows?
In the chats, Taha says, "I'm back. My internet died. Did you miss me?" And then
I hope you did homework while I was dead.
The whole chat has become about Taha.
Always. God. I'm gonna expose Ant again and say that he texted me. He was like, "I don't want to take up the whole chat," and I was like, "Don't worry, Taha did it earlier."
Well, in the chat, Ant says, "I was gonna say I exposed myself, but that sounds so much worse." We're also joined by No More Heroes. Shajik wishes that they could pull off bangs like Zooey Deschanel.
I mean, don't we all?
Taha says, "Mary is a fake. #exposed."
There's been a lot of exposure in this live stream.
It seems like it.
You should title it "Exposure with Mary." That doesn't sound like a no. Okay.
If I were the sort of person who did clickbait titles, I would do exactly that.
I'll give you a picture where I'm just like.
Oh my God, that's a good frame right there. Well done.
I know, it's really sexy too, so I think a lot of people will like it.
Ant says, "Mary is a fake muffin fan. #exposed." What does that mean?
I don't know. No, I do. Again, the same day that we went to the museum, after the first place,
after you grinded on the old man.
after I was like famished.
It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it does. And so I went and grabbed some food, and they had these muffins, and they looked really good, and I was really excited about the muffins. And I'm not like, normally I don't go for muffins. Most of the time I don't go for muffins. I'll pick a bagel instead. But I decided to get the muffin, and then I just was really excited about it because it was a really good muffin. And
that's the whole story?
That's the story. And then Aunt likes to tease me about it for no reason. Just to tease me. That's the whole reason. And then I told him the day of, I didn't say that I wasn't really a muffin fan. And then later I was like, I don't really like muffins. And so that's why I'm a fake.
I see. Fake muffin fan. Here we go.
Oh, what?
I'm going to tweet about it.
Oh. Okay. Well, I think Aunt needs to keep our inside jokes to himself at this point because no one else finds them entertaining except us. So
I don't. The grinding inside joke is funny. That was funny.
Okay.
Oh, Taha says Mary Akemon, more like Mary Fakeman. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty much. You're right.
Some people are commenting on Drew, who is snoring on my bed in the background over here.
Like you're talking. My brother's name is Andrew.
Oh.
And so I was like, how do they know about my brother? But no.
Well, now you told everybody. You've given away your personal information. Be careful about that on the internet here.
Oh, I don't think it's very personal. It's just a name.
Aunt says Mary rhymes with scary. It's scary how fakeman. #exposed.
Okay.
Now they're calling you. Now Taha's calling you problematic. I mean, this whole live show is just going down the tubes.
I hate this. This is why. These are the people I call my friends. All they do is tease me. There was something that I was going to say about the dog, I think, or my brother. I can't remember. But I met my niece for the first time this weekend.
Oh yes. Did you shared photos of the most awkward aunt?
That's me. I don't know what to do around babies. I'm a mess, as in I can't handle it. It's not because I think they're cute, because I don't. I think they're weird.
Mary Hickman hates babies. That will be the title of this live stream.
Yeah. #exposed. Yeah, I don't know how to hold them, and they cry, and I'm just not about that, So I was trying to hold her, and I couldn't get it right, and that's why I'm the most awkward aunt in the world. And my sister's like, you should never have a baby, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm well aware. But yeah, she's cute. I brought back, I went to Ireland a couple months ago, and I bought a little lamb sheep thing, a stuffed animal. It wasn't a thing. It was a stuffed animal with a little shamrock on it, and I gave that to my sister for the baby.
I mean, at least you do your job as an aunt.
Yeah.
You bring stuff for the baby.
Yeah. Today, my mom was talking about baptism, when the baby's going to get baptized, and I was fine with not being there for the birth, but I was starting to cry because because in the Episcopal Church, at least, we do baptisms on very specific days, so it has to be either Easter, Pentecost, Epiphany, and I think there's one other day. My sister decided not to do Easter because it was just like too short of a time because she has to take classes and stuff before. But Pentecost is I need to double check, but it's in June. I can't afford, if I come back to the United States in June, that means I'll be going back 4 months in a row. Because I'm going to Playlist Live. I'm here now. I'm going to Playlist Live in April. I'm going to another wedding in May. And then June, I'd be going for the baptism. And I started to get really upset because it's like I really wanted to be at the baptism because I'll probably be a godparent. Hopefully. Maybe not. But it was upsetting. But we'll see what happens. I might end up coming back.
I mean, that is a lot of trips back to the United States.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. But the good thing is I knew that they were all happening, so I like budgeted for them. So I prepared before, so I could do it. And the Playlist Live one is pretty short. The one in May is like a half a week long. This is the longest one. The one I'm here now. This is the longest bit of time that I'm here. So yeah.
The one in May is the other wedding?
Yes, my cousin is getting married in Boston.
Is there a Christian holiday in May that you can just have your sister combine
No.
your trips for? Oh.
As far as I know, there isn't. Maybe.
In the chat, we were joined by Knowledgeable Reaction, Omar, who says, I'm just sitting here with some popcorn watching the chaos.
Good.
Ant said, Mary, quote, isn't about babies, Akemon. Exposed.
No.
Scozio says he just got a new niece this week saw her only on Skype.
Yeah, I just had seen pictures until this weekend. So it was cool, I guess. I was just like, this is a baby. It's like whatever.
I mean, I'm glad.
What?
I'm glad that I'm not the only person who has very minimal reaction to babies at best. Like,
yeah,
they can be cute. If you like take some effort into it and get a photographer involved who knows what they're doing, they can be cute. But generally speaking, they're just little balls of flesh that make noise and smells. I'm not into that.
Yeah, truly.
Not just you.
My dad was like, "Are you excited to meet your niece?" And I was like, "Eh." Yeah, I guess.
I like that you don't even like try. You don't even pretend if you're into it.
God. They would know. They would know immediately. They'd be like, "She's lying."
Well, this is your family. They've experienced your lying for years.
I was a good kid.
You were?
Yeah.
When did it all go downhill, Mary?
What's downhill?
Hashtag exposed. I don't know to where you are now. The crazy liberal person who's
Yeah, I guess to them that is kind of downhill, isn't it?
I suppose so. I'm just trying to fan the flames of the chaos here. Because it's not as if I'm on a different side from you. I'm on the same side that you're on, politically speaking.
No, but I was a pretty good kid. I never did anything bad. I like never went to parties, never smoked. Like this is like high school, you know. I mean, I went to a couple parties, but I was like always the responsible one. I remember one, my friend Caroline, she like, I don't even believe she was that drunk, but she really, really wanted to make peach cobbler. And I don't think I had any like drink at all. And she turned on the oven. She got out a pan and just put like a can of peaches and like a can of peaches in the, like, not like she poured out peaches and then she just covered it with like crumbs and then put it in the oven. And I swear, like, I heard it happening, like they were making it or like talking about it. And I was like, this cannot be good. Like an hour plus later, I was like, oh my God, that shit is still in the oven. And I had to be the one, I like got it out, I cleaned everything up, and then the next morning we had used like red Solo cups that were like in her closet, her mom's closet. We had to wash every single red Solo cup
to cover the evidence.
To like put all the cups back together and back in the cupboard before her mom got back so that she wouldn't know that we had a party.
No, that's ridiculous. That is...
I never really got if her mom ever found out about any of the parties that we had at her house, but there were a couple. I was always the good one though.
Mm-hmm. You were an accomplice is what you were.
I mean, I was an accomplice, but I wasn't like breaking any laws really.
On Twitter, Allie Lightfoot chimes in with, Mary is giving me a headache, man.
Whoa! Reel it in, Allie. Reel it in. Oh, those are fighting words.
Star Pasta joins us in the chats and says, "Looks like I came in at an interesting time." Yes, you did. Well timed. Well timed.
You know us.
Ant says, "I'm definitely a large, hairy ball of flesh that also makes smells and noises. I also have taxes."
I also hate him, so.
So, Ant, Lightfoot, and babies are on your list.
Yeah, that sums it up. No, everyone out there who doesn't, I don't actually hate him. Don't worry.
I thought you were going to apologize for the babies thing.
No, never apologize about that. That is the one true thing. If there's anything I know about myself. So remember, before the chat began, we were talking about Girl Scout cookies, and I have been eating Girl Scout cookies periodically.
Yes.
And I said, I was like, I will probably finish this sleeve before the end of the chat. I have 2 cookies left. And I'm definitely cracking one open right now. So
I don't blame you. Like I said before we started the public part of this, I admire your ability not to just hold the sleeve in front of your mouth and just pour the entire sleeve of cookies down your gullet because Girl Scout cookies.
I mean, I'm balancing it out with water.
That's good.
Normally,
stay hydrated.
I mean, normally this would be a can of Pepsi. So I'm like being it's like a healthy situation right now.
I see. Yes, you're just like one of those people at the movie theater who gets all the snacks and then gets like a Diet Coke.
Yeah. Well, some people like really like the taste of Diet Coke.
They do. Some people do. Yes.
It's not even about the diet part. It's just like they are addicted to Diet Coke because of the taste and because of chemicals. Naturally.
I'm sure that is true. It just sounds weird after a long order of junk to hear, and then also diet this.
Something that they do in the UK is they have sweet or salty popcorn.
Wait, what now?
Yeah, so you get like the normal salty, but then you also can take the sweet option, or you can mix them. And it's like more of a I've actually never gotten it, but I think it's like more of a kettle corn sweetness / I don't know if it's like those. Is it like the caramelized? I've never actually had it, so I'm not sure. But that's an option, and it threw me off the first time. I was like, no, I'll just have it salty. It's like, so what do you do? Smother it in chocolate sauce? Like, how is it sweet?
Kettle corn would be interesting, but I thought that you were going to go a different way. I thought because in some of my friends, this might be a Maryland thing. They'll go and get popcorn at the movie theater concessions, and then they'll pour in like M&Ms or Reese's Pieces into the popcorn.
That before. Well,
I'll have that combination.
The thing where I've like melted chocolate chips in popcorn. So you pop the popcorn normally, and then you throw in chocolate chips like immediately after you pop it, so the chocolate chips melt into the popcorn, and it's damn good. It is very messy though because like the chocolate gets everywhere, but it's pretty good. My cousin and I used to do that when I would go over her house, we would watch movies and do that.
This is making me want. This is making me want popcorn. It's also making me want to go to a movie and watch the movie with the popcorn. I don't have time for that this weekend. I've got to like do my anniversary video and do an NFI video still.
I'm on vacation. Woo! This is my room. my childhood, or not childhood really, but this is my room. Yay! Interesting content. That's what we're all here for. But
do you think of this room that you're in right now as home when you think of home, or do you think of your place in London?
I mean, when I talk about the States, I say home. Like I say, like before I left, I said I'm going home for 2 weeks. So I mean, this room here, between college and moving to London, I lived here in this room, but that was like the longest period that I lived in this room because my parents are divorced. So this is my dad's house, and my mom's house is where I lived from all the way up until college. So that's my childhood room is that house, and that house is my, what I think of like childhood. So I don't know. I think I'm definitely at a point in my life where I don't have like a super strong connection with anywhere. So my house in Tallahassee, I lived in for 3 years. And I love that house. I really felt at home there, and I kind of miss it. So I think even though I don't live there anymore, that's like one of the places that is like I have more connection with, I think, now at this period in my life. But unfortunately, I'll never live there again. Well, maybe not. If I do move back to Tallahassee, I'm going to see if I can get that house again, because that place is awesome and cheap. Important.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, it's up until college, my thoughts of home were always wherever my parents were. And then ever since college, like I have moved at least once a decade, I think, if not a couple of times a decade. And so it's hard for me to really get my mind around the concept of home. And I'm contemplating moving again this year. So it's an idea that's at the forefront of my mind again. Let's see here. In the chats, I am seeing that Ant said, I'm heartbroken about the ant-based hate. I may have to watch Daredevil and cry. Well, Daredevil's a good thing to watch regardless. It was intense.
I'm probably just going to wait till I go back to London to watch it. I'm so bad at watching TV, though, like dramatic TV series. I just can't. Like, I love to watch them, and I really enjoy them. But I can't handle that much emotions.
Mary Aikman hates emotions. Hashtag exposed.
Self-proclaimed robot. Hashtag exposed. That's me. No feelings whatsoever. No. Yeah. I just it like makes me anxious, and it overwhelms me, and I have to like take a break. But then my break ends up being like 6 months.
No, I completely understand. And it's actually for the same reasons. I just can't handle all the emotional intensity of these shows. So I for example, last night, I had been saving up the TV show The Magicians, which I was kind of getting into. I was enjoying it for the first few episodes. But then it was so intense, and it got me literally tensing up my shoulders and feeling stressed out when I was watching it. So I stopped watching the episodes, and they just started accumulating on my saved TV shows list. And then I watched like 5 of them last night, and it's been obviously like 2 months.
But it was good.
It was good, and actually, I'm looking forward to the next episode. Now we'll see if I can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna sound crazy to most people out there. I still haven't watched the last episode of the first season of House of Cards.
Wow.
Because I got that far and then was like, nope. I can't do this. But Yeah, I did finish Daredevil though. I did, and I got like halfway through Jessica Jones, and then I was again like, no, I can't.
Oh my
So,
God, Jessica Jones was like
I,
the
I know.
90% content warning material.
I'm I might go back to Jessica Jones this week because I don't have a car, so I do have a good bit of like, what am I gonna do right now? I have a lot of books I might read, but
Reading.
who does that?
Now that we have Netflix in our lives, who does
Yeah.
reading anymore?
Well, when I lived here between moving to London, I read like, I don't know, I had to have read maybe like 50 books in the span of like a couple months because I was just going to the library and like picking up 4 or 5 books and reading them within a week, and it was just, I was on a kick. I was on a
Nerd.
reading kick. Did you say nerd?
I did.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably.
I haven't.
Exposed.
Hashtag exposed. I am not averse to books.
No,
I have read a couple of them myself.
mine is right there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
In the chat, we also had Matt Palka say, drink water, look hotter. Drink soda, look like Yoda.
I will do whatever the fuck I want.
Good response. Good response. What else we have in here?
Also, how dare you treat Yoda like that? Like, how dare you?
How dare you, Matt? Fish the Fish has arrived and said, shit, I'm late. Yes, you're a little late. It's all right. We still have a little bit left to go.
How long do you usually do these?
I usually go for about 2 hours. So
Okay.
we're approaching like the end. We're getting close to the end here.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Taha asked a serious question. What are your thoughts on if Trump will actually win or not?
Do I think, like, what are my thoughts on if he does win, or what am I? Well, I guess.
Do you think he actually will win?
Yeah. No. But
Why not?
I have faith in the American people.
That's basically what Obama said as well.
Yeah, I mean that's about where we are in the situation. Like, we can't really tell. There's a lot of warning signs. There's a lot of bad signs, but it isn't doomsday yet. So, and I think Obama also said something like that he just the faith in the system, faith in how Americans think and what we're motivated by. We'll see. I mean, that's sort of my position right now is we'll see. I like to believe that it isn't something that will happen. But today, my mom and I, if anyone follows my Snapchat and has seen this portion, it's like the last thing I snapped. I was driving back home after lunch, and the car in front of me had a Trump sticker. And this was the first instant that I had gotten in America since being back of seeing like actual human beings promote, because everything that I've gotten is either from my dad. He's a third party. It doesn't, he's not real in this situation. Either from my dad or on the internet. And so I had never actually encountered like someone who I didn't know supporting Trump. And I took a Snapchat of it going like, what is going on? And my mom, we were driving down the road and she like pointed to both sides. She was like, the day of the election, there was like 15 people on every block supporting him with signs.
Thanks.
I know, right? It's a gag reflex.
That is intense.
It's just alarming, and it's sort of surreal, and yeah.
Taha went on to ask, Could Bernie win, or has Hillary basically got it?
Again, I'm being very positive and hopeful. I don't think the game is done, but it's increasingly looking like she'll win because of the super delegates, mostly. And for those of you who aren't American and don't really understand the political system and voting and things like that.
There are some Americans who don't understand the super delegates thing too.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll explain it now, but I fill in if I miss anything or say things wrong. Basically, each party has a number of delegates according to population, etc. That goes to convention to vote as representatives of the people of the state to nominate the official person for the party. The Republicans do not have super delegates, which is you'd think it would be the other way around, but it's not. Super delegates are people who essentially get to pick whoever they want. They don't have to represent any voter. They represent basically themselves, or the people
Nominally
who are paying them, or the people who are like paying them in, probably illegal like situations to vote. And it is the opinion, I think, of a lot of Democrats who are watching and aware that this election might have been a little bit rigged because of the number of superdelegates who have chosen to vote for Hillary Clinton. It's like 400 to 20 or something. Like, she's gotten over 400 superdelegates, and Bernie has gotten like 26 or something from the last I looked. And to win the nomination, at this point in the primary season, about half of the normal delegates have been given out. So there's still hope, because there's still a chance that the numbers will turn over for him. But every primary, it's getting closer and closer, where eventually we will hit a number where even if he wins the rest of the nominations or the rest of the delegates, he still will not win the nomination. So there's still hope, but it looks like she's probably going to win the nomination. Yeah.
So I know what the superdelegates are, what you described. I don't know why they exist.
No, I don't. Like, that is definitely an interesting history to look into. I'm wondering where, like, at what point in the party system they were implemented. And actually, it does. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. It actually does make sense why the Democrats have the superdelegates, because the party's ideologies used to be essentially switched.
Yes, back in from Lincoln's era forward.
Right. So if you don't know, again, if you don't know much about like the history of the United States and things like that, the Republican Party Lincoln was a Republican. The ideologies, the South used to be a Democratic South, but their ideologies were essentially the same in that, like, or the people in the South had the same sort of, anti-government involvement, states' rights, gun rights, wanting to keep slavery a thing, etc. But they were Democrats. Somewhere along in the last like 100 years or whatever, the names have switched. So the ideologies have stayed the same essentially in the like North versus South, or
geographically.
Geographically, but the names have been switched. Maybe that's why the superdelegates are on with the Democrats, because at one point they were actually with the Republicans. Like, if you think about it like that.
Maybe that's interesting, but I can't get my mind around the fact that it sounds unconstitutional to have people called delegates who are not voting on behalf of the people. Like that's the whole point of it. Like, our electoral college system sucks, but the whole point of it is that they're supposed to represent the people in their electoral college who got them that position. I don't understand it. It's weird to me. It
I
drives
don't
me
know
nuts.
either.
And for that reason, I agree with you that it seems very much rigged in Hillary's direction. And of course, the reasoning for that is a lot more obvious. It's because people want someone who is a part of the system as the status quo to get the nomination, not someone who wants to change the status quo. That is like in the interest of politicians in general.
Yeah, and I mean, it might not be rigged in that those party members just want someone who's really actually a member of their party to win.
Right.
Like Bernie is not a Democrat.
Right.
He's in his own category of
socialist.
Whatever. Yeah, socialist.
I mean, he's a self-labeled democratic socialist.
Yeah.
And there is no such party officially.
So, and the only reason he's running as a Democrat is because he's a career politician and he's smart and he knows that people aren't going to vote, even if they agree 100% with him. People are still not going to vote for an independent candidate. They will vote along a party line because they trust the party. We'll see if that
either they trust the party or they think that their vote for anybody who's not in one of the parties is going to be a wasted vote.
Right.
And there's, there's merit in that. There's a merit in that line of thinking. It's a sucky line of thinking. It's one of the reasons why I really dislike the two-party system. Taha is keeping us.
A two-party system. You haven't met him yet. You haven't had the chance. Just a little Hamilton in there for y'all.
Excellent. Excellent.
Sorry, what did Taha say?
Another question. He's like fanning the flames of controversy here, although so far you and I haven't disagreed about anything.
No.
Why do you think Islamophobia is on the rise in the UK and USA?
Media. Well, I don't know if it's even on the rise or if just people aren't afraid anymore, or especially with like this whole with Trump, it's like people are coming out and saying what they feel.
Yeah.
And they think
is David Cameron also Islamophobic?
I mean, I would assume so, yes. I don't know as much about British politics, but they have very strong anti-immigration policies, and that conversation is huge over there.
I mean, that's very entwined right now. If you are anti-immigration, then you are a racist, generally speaking, and Islamophobic, generally speaking.
Yeah, and it's interesting that it's actually happening now more than it did post-financial crash, because like historically, I actually watched a video about this right before we started the chat. Like historically, when people and the system has pushed blame on people of color, on blacks, on people who are different from them, as in like, and they've made it so like poor white Americans or poor white people, like it's not the government's fault, it's not the system's fault, it's the other people's fault. And it's interesting to me that post the financial crash that wasn't more apparent because of how many people were without jobs, were evicted from their homes, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, I don't really know, Taha. I can't give you an answer because I'm not Islamophobic, and and I'm sure that those people have an idea of why. Maybe I should ask my dad.
Oh my God, that would be, if you do, tell Twitter what happens.
Guest host in the chat. But what about you? What do you think, Paul?
I think that it is again, because news media has become an entertainment industry. They're always looking for someone to point at as the next big bad.
Yeah.
And with the financial crash, even people who are conservative conservative news agencies, aka Fox, they were still willing to say, let's point their finger at Wall Street and say Wall Street is a big bad for right now. That's great. So everybody was mad at them, even people who are normally on their side. But post financial crash, as we are starting to rebuild our United States, and we have a black president, the big bad is
Obama.
Is Obama, and
who's a Muslim, by the way, if you haven't heard.
She is lying. She is joking. She's joking about that. But his middle name is Hussein.
Sarcasm, you guys.
And that became a big thing. It was like one of the things that the conservatives and particularly the GOP used as a way of trying to defame Obama, is by saying we should not have Obama as a president because he's Muslim and Muslim is bad. And so the entertainment news media gets on board that bandwagon and continues to point the finger at anybody who is Muslim as being bad, and then anybody who's even vaguely associated with Muslim in the bigoted stereotyping imagery we have of people in the Middle East.
Right.
The flames were fanned by conservative media, making this just like grow higher and higher. And so now, even though it's not the case, like Islam is a religion of love and peace, and yet the news media, who could just freaking go to Wikipedia and look that up and find out that's the case, ignore the facts and just say, no, they're all about hatred and terrorism. Let's point that finger at them as the bad guys. And that's going to be the case until the leadership of both parties everywhere cut that out. That's the thing. Donald Trump, whether the Republicans like it or not, is acting as the face of the Republican Party. And so, I mean, I have friends who have been Republicans for decades and they hate Donald Trump. They don't want him to be the face of their party, but they're stuck. They're stuck because they contributed to the growth of the GOP in this direction, and then he's run with it, essentially. And he's really good at doing that in the news media. That's like what he's, ever since The Apprentice came on air, that's what he's done with his life. I
feel like The Apprentice wasn't even a good show, but everybody watched it.
Yes. Yep.
And everybody talked about it, and You're Fired was a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's why Islamophobia is on the rise, is because as Mary points out, people already felt these things, but now that the leadership feels confident that they can make these horrible, hateful statements and not immediately get taken out of the limelight, they do it. And so all the people who feel these things and kept quiet about it for the last couple of decades, they're starting to do it too. It's just coming out because it's now okay.
Yeah.
Makes me very mad. Sorry to like scream at you, Mary.
No, it's okay. I mean, I agree. I mean, I talk a lot, and so I'm glad that you're talking some more. I didn't want to like hold up the whole entire chat with me just like gabbing away. You know her.
You know what? You know the statistic of like when women speak, what is it, a third of the time? The men in the conversation think they've been speaking half the time. I'm wary of that. So you speak as much as you want.
Okay, thank you. Sounds good.
I think Omar said that if Bernie won California, he could, and the rest of the states. If he takes California and the rest of the states, he could win. That's a big if. Oof.
Yeah. Did Taha respond to any of our answers?
I think he just dropped his question bombs and then left.
And then he just left. Yeah.
He's not doing his homework now or something.
Yeah.
Omar also says faithless voters, people who are not voting from a position of faith, could push Bernie to nomination. Mm-hmm. Sure. Matt Palka also does not understand superdelegates, but thinks that there should be a YouTube video about it. Yeah, where's Crash Course Superdelegates? Come on.
A whole Crash Course series on superdelegates.
Well, at least an episode. Crash Course American History Superdelegates. There we go. No More Hero says, if I remember the reason superdelegates are legal, it's because they are used in the primaries, which is the parties picking who they want to run, and not actually part of the presidential election. I guess that makes sense. It's so frustrating. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Matt Palka says, irony. Isis is the goddess of health, marriage, and wisdom. That is ironic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's
Good old ISIS.
Taha says, "I'm still here. I agree with what you all are saying mostly. Yay."
Mostly. That's cool. Any other questions while we're at this point?
Matt Palka, I think, is making a joke here. If a tree falls down in the woods and a man hears it and says it fell, but a woman's not there to hear him, is he still right? I don't get the joke.
I don't either.
I didn't follow it.
I mean,
Sorry, Matt.
I think I could get it eventually, but I don't have time for that right now.
Mary doesn't have time for your jokes.
Sorry.
Hashtag Mary is a robot exposed.
So much exposure.
Anything else you'd like to expose to us before we leave, Mary?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm good. Any final questions from the gallery?
From the peanut gallery over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions from people who are watching us? This has been a lively chat a lively show that's gone in all sorts of different extremes.
All sorts of directions. But I wouldn't have it any other way.
It was great. I mean, I like I said, I wanted to get a good conversation, and we got a chance to talk about some stuff. It was really nice.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
It was my pleasure. I did not mean to invite Ant before I invited you.
It's all right. I wonder if Ant's still watching. Probably not. But he won't get that. It's okay. I was never. Stop. Everyone likes to tease me about all sorts of things. It's not fair. Kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you for having me.
It has been my pleasure. In the chats, No More Heroes asks Pepsi or Coke.
Pepsi, 100%.
Oh, likewise. Yeah. And then Taha says, "I love thee so much, Paul. You're a great host. Thank you."
You are.
Thank you.
You're good at keeping the conversation going.
I try. And then Taha says, "Mary, you're all right."
You're all right too, mate. M8.
How much longer are you before you go back to London?
I leave on Monday. Next Monday.
Okay, so another week still.
The day after Easter, yeah.
Do you miss it?
London?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm having a nice time home. The weather here is beautiful. Yesterday it rained all day. It was lovely. And that ain't no London rain, bruv. That's that's pouring down rain for 8 hours straight.
Wow.
Thunder and lightning and beautifulness. Definitely what I missed. I've already had 2 Dunkin' Donuts iced coffees since being here, and I've only been here for like 2 days. So I'm on a roll. I had a local restaurant that I really like a lot today. And I probably will go out and have a Publix sub tomorrow at some point.
A what now?
A pub sub.
A pub sub.
Yeah, it's Publix is a supermarket.
Oh yes. Okay, yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We don't have them here, but they're down in the south.
Yeah, well, I heard that they're expanding into Virginia, so maybe at some point they'll be up in the
flee the area,
Maryland-ish area. But yeah, they have amazing subs with like boar's head meats, and I am just so into it. I can't wait.
It sounds like you're just kind of doing advertisement for Publix at this point.
Sponsored by. And my parents.
We have to disclose those at the beginning, Mary.
No, I don't listen to rules. Anarchy, fuck the system, down with YouTube.
I'm glad that this is where we're ending the live show.
Hashtag expose, and then we just cut it off. No.
Fuck the system from Mary Akemon.
Bye. No. But yeah, that's it from me. Any other questions in the chat? Are we Golden.
Taha asked why he hasn't been invited before you.
This is probably like Taha. You should definitely have Taha on as well.
I want to.
Taha is he's fun. Taha is a little ball of joy. I love him. He's the best. You will have a great show if he's on.
So you've connected me at this point with getting Aaron on the show and Taha. Excellent.
These are where my strengths lie. Rowan has been so kind as to really like tell me like, Mary, you're good at producing. You should be doing producing. Like you should be like getting people together and like handling, organizing, logistics and all of that because that's like you're good at it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I am. I might do that. So.
I think she's right, and I'm looking forward to seeing like videos from and reports back from Community Unite to see how that.
Yay! That sounds great. Yeah, everyone who's still here, go check that out. Or the Twitter is at Community UNLDN. So Community Unite London, like shortened.
Yes. Again, link to that is going to be in the description of this video right now, and also after it's archived and saved.
Great. Okay. I think that's it.
I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Thank you everybody for watching. You don't have a typical sign off for your vlogs, do you?
No, I don't. No. Just
so I'll wrap this up the way that I wrap up my vlogs by saying to all my viewers, thank you for watching. Tomorrow will be even better. Bye.